Good morning. This is Casey Council Jiha coming to you live from my home here in Northern California, in Pleasant Hill in the San Francisco Bay Area. As you join us this morning, would love to have a shout out of where you're streaming in from today. I know this touches people all over the world and in different time zones, and we're definitely excited to be here with you today and have some incredible things to share. So welcome, Julie, seeing you jump on. I love doing these calls. I love being on these calls because it's an incredible way to get your mindset in a way that's going to serve you for the day. Really, it's a daily recalibration to be able to check in on where you're at, feed your mind, body, soul, and give you some things to think about and implement going into your day that can dramatically positively impact not just your business today and your teams and people that you're working with, however to come as well. So love seeing you guys jump on. Jeffrey, Shirley, Lizette, all the way over from Sweden. We truly have a global organization of people that plug into this as a resource through One Team Global, which spans the entire world. So as we jump in this morning, wanted to give a chance for people to come on, and hello from sunny, breezy Florida and Jupiter Island. First off, wanted to give a shout out to people that are being impacted and affected not too far from here in the fires that are happening. I know there's stuff going on all over the world, and when things happen and when they affect people that you know personally, it really starts me thinking anyhow on, how do I have my life set up? What if that was me in that situation? And what can I do to make a difference? What can I do to make an impact? And have I set myself up really for what could be coming in the future? And the beautiful thing is we have this amazing business called Nu Skin that allows us as entrepreneurs to really create our life in a way that we design and that we desire. So as we jump in, some of you may have noticed the topic today is where there is no vision, ... We're going to have it's actually going to be quite a confrontive conversation today, and one that will give you pause for thought for sure. As we do that, though, I wanted to take care of some quick housekeeping items. For those of you that will be joining us at our free training that happens monthly at Team Elite University at our global headquarters in Provo, Utah, a reminder from the call that Gary DeRitter did yesterday is that we will be training on how to implement and integrate that 90-day success journal for your success to take you and support you into next layers of the business. And there will be some journals available for pickup at the event, provided you have ordered them and paid for them in advance. How you can do that is by going to a link that is specific just to the journals and just for TEU. It's www.teujournals.com. If those of you are wanting to get this resource and are not at Team Elite University, you can find it at otg.tools. So let's jump into our topic for this morning. I am coming up on actually this month celebrating my 11-year anniversary with Nu Skin. And this topic of vision is so key. It's been said that where there is no vision, people will perish. And clearly I'm here 11 years later and have worked into the upper leadership levels with the company. And 11 years later, that shows that I had a vision for something, but for what? And this topic I think is so relevant as particularly how we do our business has shifted dramatically on the front end, with the front end being social media. Now, the beauty of social media is the reach, because I remember some of the challenges when I came into the business were always, we're not reaching enough people, we're not talking to enough people, because it was a one-to-one-to-one approach. Social media has so dramatically changed that metric. It's a one-to-many approach because of how social media works, and yet that brings in a whole new set of challenges. It's, said that sometimes people will think, this is the best way to build the business, or this is the best way to build the business. And the truth is, there is no best way. It's whatever way you choose. And whatever way you choose to build the business, there's going to be some foundational things. Each methodology has its own benefits and has its own drawbacks. And there's an equal number of benefits and drawbacks to each methodology. So let me tell you a little bit more about what I mean by that. I'm going to back up and use my story to help see and then tie that into the market as it exists today for people that may just be coming into the business, new in the business, or are yet to come into the business. I remember thinking, wow, it took 13 invitations for the person that finally got me to the table to look at Nu Skin to do that. The first 12 were no's, and that happened over the course of 2 months. And I think, and I compare and contrast that to a lot of times people working in social that are communicating through messages or Messenger, and they're like, oh, someone hasn't responded to my message. They must not be interested, or they're ignoring me. I've reached out to them twice. Really? So there's a difference in what the stories are that people make up versus just speaking to someone and getting a flat out, no, not for me, not interested, please don't call me. So I look at that piece. I finally did 11 years ago, the door opened and I had an experience of a new technology that was launching. So I want you to parallel that technology to a new technology that could be launching today. LumiSpa, right? The technology at that point was facial spa. It doesn't really matter. It was an experience through a technology, and that was the introduction to the business. Now, what's important for you to know in this topic around where there is no vision, people perish, is I saw the facial spa. I had an experience of it, undeniable change on the half-face demonstration that I received, and that was enough of a vision for me to go, wow, I can make some money with this. Now, I want you to parallel that to today, working in a social environment for those that are leading with that in the business, to where they coach somebody through a post series and you make some upfront cash and it's that immediate gratification and people go, wow, I can make some money with this, right? So we've got that same starting point, even though it's an online introduction versus an offline introduction. Well, what happens from there? As I went out into my business, now what's important for you to know is that I had been a clinical esthetician since 1997. I owned a day spa for 10 years where I practiced aesthetics, anti-aging, and acne specifically, and I was a massage therapist. So I had a background to know the value of the technology that I had in my hand. But what happened? I went out into the marketplace with the vision that I had based on what I had experienced. And my first 13 meetings, demonstrations, I did them in groups of 2 to 5. No one purchased anything, and for sure, no one started the business. So that vision that I had in the beginning of, oh my goodness, this is a game-changing technology and it's going to change my business, with the confidence that I had from what I had done before, I took that vision, I went out into the market, and after the end of a couple of weeks of experiencing no after no after no, that initial vision that I had dwindled down to, man, I'm glad that these have a money-back guarantee for any unopened devices for up to a year, because I had bought 5 of them and 4 of them were still in the package. And at that point in time, I had a conversation with, my senior partner. I'm going to now transition over to how people are doing the business today. Front end, people are launching people maybe do their own post and make some money. Maybe they repost again and get less interest. They help some other people to post, and depending on what kind of networks they're in, if somebody has a dramatic amount of influence, they have great results. If you get into networks where people are recruiting down, meaning people that don't have influence, that don't have brand, that don't really have following through social media, now those numbers dwindle, and all of a sudden you've got this person who had a vision in the beginning, so you thought, because you were able to help them make some fast cash, but really what they had was something called immediate gratification from a short-term experience. So as fast as the gratification came of making that money and the vision that they thought they had for it, yeah, I can help people make money on social media. You might find that within, days to a couple of weeks to a month, that person has evaporated into nowhere, because based on the experience they're having, their vision diminishes. So what do we do about that? It is really about elevating the experience that someone has so they can expand the vision that they have, because it is a foundational principle. Where there is no vision, people will perish. So 11 years ago, I look back, what happened that was a turning point as to why I am here 11 years later and I did not return my kits of facial spas and get a refund and stop what I thought was going to be a great little side gig, side hustle. Fortunately, I was connected in conversation, in relationship. The people that were working with me had developed a relationship with me and said, "Are you kidding me? Like, you're gonna throw in the towel after a couple of weeks because of your experience, and you haven't even been out to Team Elite University to get the free training that's available to help you succeed in this business?" And my first thought to that was, seriously? I just dropped $1,500 on these packages. To do that at that point in my life, had, 6 figures of debt one way, shape, or form, and had used 5 different credit cards and split up those payments to be able to get those packages. There was no room in the budget for me to purchase a flight and hop on over to Provo, Utah from Northern California. And yet there was something inside of me that said, man, I've seen this technology works. I've been shown what the business can do because they had talked to me about the business. They had upgraded me in that conversation. And man, it's on me if I'm going to be a business owner to get myself in a place where I'm getting what I need to go succeed in the business, even though it wasn't convenient and was not part of the original conversation. So now I want you to translate that to the online social environment where people are working today, where people might go, "Oh, this is a free business. I didn't have to do anything. It was free to sign up. I didn't have to make any purchases. And, why do I need to go do that? I made money on social media. I can just help other people make money on social media." And they don't understand that where there is no vision, people will perish. If they do not upgrade their vision, they will perish. They will be gone. These are real conversations to have with people. These are important conversations to have with people. So let's fast forward into December of 2007, where I decided, you know what, if I don't satisfy this for myself, I'm not going to be able to walk away with peace, because I had seen too much of a big vision that had been painted to me in words, but wasn't really connected to me in my heart. So I jumped on a plane, and a couple of weeks later found myself at Team Elite University in Provo, Utah. Now, the Innovation Center didn't exist. We were in a little building across the street at the Wells Fargo building that was upstairs with these columns in it. You guys that were there know it was like hot, humid. There was maybe 150 people there, and snow on the streets in December in Utah, and I'm like really questioning myself. And until we got into the event. Now, I was coached to sit in the front row because that's where the money's at. And I understand why I was coached to do that, because sitting in the front row when there was a panel of people that were Diamonds, Blue Diamonds, Team Elites talking about their journey and their stories, there was something that happened. I got goosebumps all over my entire body. I actually started to tear up, and I got this feeling in my heart of everything that I have done before now has led me to today, to exactly where I am meant to be. And it is undeniable now that I saw person after person after person. I saw a real company. I toured the labs with the scientists. I asked the worst questions you could possibly want to be asked if you didn't have good answers for them around the products. And I knew in my heart, no matter what happens for me, is that I'm going to figure this out, and I'm going to work at it until I create the new and expanded vision that I had in my mind. Now, this topic of vision is so critical. If you are only to wait to what the company provides, which is a leadership event in April and the convention in October, think of the hundreds, if not possibly thousands of people that will come and go from your organizations that will perish because they didn't get a bigger vision, because they didn't have the experience to have an emotional attachment, right? Maybe some of you have only been to convention because you're that new in the business. You've not experienced a Team Elite University training at our global headquarters, learning from people that are newer success stories in the business so that it's relatable, and hearing and learning from all the things that they're doing that are helping them to be effective, as well as people that have already built to what you may want to build in your business, and everywhere in between. I cannot underestimate this topic of vision. And it proves it in the numbers. I always say that the fairest way to gauge anything is based on results. And I remember having a conversation with someone, and we were talking, about how many people had come into their business, like literally hundreds and hundreds of people. And then they experienced what many people experience when there is no vision. There is compression, because short-term immediate gratification is not going to give you long-term leadership. And this business is based on finding people that are ultimately going to grow and develop as leaders because they have a vision. So as that compression happened and we looked at the actual numbers, the people that were left, the 20%, the 25%, had all attended Team Elite Universities and leadership or convention as well. So is expanding your vision something that you do on a one-time basis? No, it's not. And that's why we offer Team Elite University every month, is because you're going to go to that event, you're going to have that emotional connection and attachment, and you're going to go back and you're going to work your business. And what's going to happen is you're going to go through challenges and you're going to go through obstacles that are going to make you question yourself, that are going to possibly dim that vision, that are, as you get discouraged for all of the normal things that are going to happen in the business, is that is a lifeline to plug into something on a consistent basis. I'm not saying you got to go every month. However, the more you plug into that for yourself with your team, your vision will continue to be renewed and expanded. And for whatever it is that you've seen as possible for you, you will stick with it and go and create it, because that connection of your mind to your heart, what you feel, what you see, the life that you can see in your mind that will be possible as a result of actually going out and building this business, will always, always, always be directly related to the strength of your vision. So the greatest gift that you can give your people, one of the greatest gifts as you're working with them in this business, is give them the opportunity. Position that conversation in a way that's going to serve them, right? Imagine, I look back at my life, if 11 years ago, my senior partners hadn't had the conversation with me, like it was an automatic, this is the next thing to do. It's not a question of if you're coming to Team Elite University. Of course you are, because you're a business owner. And we've shown you a glimpse of what this business can do for you. And now it's on you to get yourself there, to get you what you need to keep moving forward. Had that conversation not happened for me, I know that I wouldn't be here, because the discouragement of my results that was directly related to my vision that continued to shrink and shrink, and my belief that continued to go down and down with every no that I got, was infused with something entirely different as a result of that experience that I had in December of 2007. So here we are 11 years later. At the end, as we wrap up this call, what I want to plant in your mind as a seed is, at the end of the day, what my senior partners did for me is they were ambassadors for my dreams. They knew that I wanted something different and more in my life, and they were willing to take a stand in the face of strong resistance and me pushing back and having a little attitude and being a pain in the butt, because they knew that there was something bigger on the other side of my resistance. At the end of the day, there is one person that is the most important person that you will recruit into this business, and that person is you. You are responsible for getting your vision. You are responsible for feeding your vision. And then once you've done that, and as you continue to do that for you, you pay it forward as an ambassador for other people's dreams and the vision that maybe you can see for them that maybe they don't have yet for themselves. Because how often do we see the greatness in someone else that they're not able to see? How often do we see their life transformed by this business and they're not able to make the connection of how that's going to happen? So at the end of the day, we are in a business that is about serving others. It's about lifting others. It's about helping others. And it's not about you being able to do that for someone else. No one could have done that for me. No one can do that for you. It is for each person to put on their own mask, get their own vision, and move forward to go and make a difference in the lives of others. So we will look forward to seeing you at Team Elite University this weekend at our global headquarters. There is a Q&A session that starts with the scientists in the auditorium that goes from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. And then our main session starts on Friday at 1 p.m. If you want the details for the rest of the schedule, you can go to www.teameliteuniversity.com, or you can go to otg.global and you'll see those details in there. So everyone, make it a great day. Upwards and onwards. Let's go change some lives.